Welcome to TMZ Live. A big break in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. The FBI is releasing photos and videos of the man who almost unequivocally kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. And it is terrifying, dramatic, and somewhat mysterious.
Right, because these images, it's the first images we have of anyone who potentially is involved in this. And we say potentially, but this person showed up on her doorstep early Sunday morning.
Completely covered, head to toe covered, although you can see certain things that we're going to get to in a minute. But he clearly had planned out, not being in any way identified.
The mask, the full face mask, the heavy-duty rubber gloves, and also a weapon on his waistband. You can see it there at the front of his waistband. There's a revolver or a pistol that is in a holster. So
what's interesting about this video, and let's play it again from the top. So you see him come up toward the door.
With his head down.
With his head down. Obviously, he doesn't want to be seen even though he's covered. Now, look what happens. It seems like he notices the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Now, watch what he does. He is going to turn around in just a minute. Now, watch this.
He's kind of covering it up. It's almost like he's thinking, what am I going to do
to cover it up?
To cover this camera.
So he walks out into the garden area, and he bends down and lifts up some shrubbery as if he's going to take that shrubbery and put it on the lens of the camera.
And he does actually bring the shrubbery over and puts it in front of the lens. And these are the last images that the FBI has released at this point, and maybe that's all they've retrieved at this point. But we know that at some point shortly thereafter, that camera was disabled.
Now, we're going to tell you why it took a week, because this is a fascinating story about why it did take a week and what they were able to retrieve. But before we do, look at this photo. This is a still where you see what appears to be a mustache and either a goatee or a full beard, because you see hair both above and below the lips. So this is either a goatee or a full beard, a dark beard, a dark mustache, but that's about all you see.
Yeah.
But that's a clue.
That's a lot. Also, we get a full, when the individual walks up, you get a full body shot. You get an idea of what this person's build is like.
He's somewhat stocky.
Yeah.
It's clearly a man. And, most important, it is the person who apparently kidnapped Nancy Guthrie.
And he was clearly there with ill intent. I mean, he showed up, he has this backpack, he has the gun holstered. I was, frankly, a bit surprised by his activity around that camera, and I don't know if you were. If you've come with that level of preparation, you have gloves, you have a mask on, to not have a piece of tape to affix over it, to go grab the shrubbery with no way to affix it to the camera, this seems like he was taken a little bit off guard as to how to deal with that situation. And you're right, though, you learn a lot about his facial features, his build. All of that stuff is clues that will help in this investigation.
I am puzzled by the grabbing the shrubbery, because one of the first things you would know is Ring doorbells, Ring cameras.
You would expect that.
You would expect it, and you would expect he would. I mean, he was able to disable a lot, which we're going to get into in a minute. So why wouldn't he expect that? Why is he suddenly grasping for shrubbery?
It's so strange because it's a bit of a hybrid. If it's a crime of opportunity, it's impulsive act and you're not prepared at all. This is someone who just grabs a purse when they see it because it's there. And then there are people who plan it all and they have backpacks and they've cased the joint. This seems to be in between because he's a little bit surprised by how to deal with this.
Planned, but not perfectly planned. And that backpack, the FBI believes may have tools that were used in the abduction or to disable things around the house.
Now they're going to go back to their timeline.
We should get into why it took a week.
10 days.
Remember, when this first happened, the FBI said that they couldn't see any video, but they were able to know that somebody was there.
Right. And they said that camera had been disabled.
Right.
But what the FBI Director Kash Patel said, they've been working closely with private sector partners. That would be, in this case, Nest is the host of that camera, and says that they've been trying to recover images and video that may have been lost, corrupted, or inaccessible. The video was recovered from residual data located in back-end systems.
So destroying the actual camera itself doesn't destroy the data that has been collected in a cloud. I have these cameras at homes. They're very, very common now. They're set off by motion. The motion probably started recording him. And then regardless of whether he's covering or destroys the camera, that exists in a cloud, and you can get data people to scrape that.
What's confusing to me is they knew that day one, and it seemed like what they were able to initially retrieve, presumably from the cloud, did not show actual video, but they were able to somehow get this.
So they made a reference during the news conference where they laid out the timeline and said that Nancy didn't have a subscription where you get to save all that video and you can easily access it at home. Just because she couldn't see it at home doesn't mean that Nest doesn't have it.
Right.
And that's what they must have done. They went wherever the Nest servers are and accessed this information.
So Savannah Guthrie has posted some of these images herself, along with a plea, believing that her mother is still alive.
Yes, saying we believe she is still alive. Bring her home. And then she lists the FBI number, 1-800-CALL-FBI, or the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
Now, the one thing we don't know is how long has the FBI had this video? And
I don't think they've had it very long.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I suspect that you heard him describe how difficult it was to get it, what the process they had to go through. They, as far as we know publicly, don't have a lot of clues. And this is a huge one. For the first time now, instead of the public throwing out theories and speculation, there's an image for everyone in the Tucson area and beyond to look at and say, do I recognize anything about this person's gait, about their clothing, about the backpack, the mustache, all of it?
I think soliciting the help of the public is the right call.
But the only reason I'm saying maybe, I don't know.
Right.
You have a 700-mile radius to cover.
What I'm thinking is there is something still about this ransom note. And if the ransom note is legitimate, that maybe their initial path was, let's get her home by complying with the ransom note.
Right.
We have checked the Bitcoin address every 5 minutes, and so far, no deposits.
No transaction, yeah.
So the $6 million that the kidnapper demanded has not been deposited. So I don't know whether at the point of reaching that dead end, they decided, okay, now we'll release this picture, or maybe they just got it. I mean, it just seems odd to me that it would take 10 days to retrieve this, that they may have had it before and they were working on leads. I don't know. It just seems odd to me why that's not something that should take 10 days if somebody's life is on the line like this.
Yeah, and that's why I think they did just get it, because her life is on the line. If they had anything to help get other clues to throw out to the public so that people would phone in with with tips, I think they would have done that. And you heard that yesterday when Savannah said, we are in desperate hours, right? So
asking for any help from the public.
And they wanted any help from the public. So that's why I got to believe the FBI just got these images.
And wouldn't sit on
I just want to say one other thing. And again, I'm just saying this. We received the first ransom note, and it is so well thought out, planned. It is articulate. It is just methodical in the way it's written. And then you look at these images, and you see him kind of bumble around looking for leaves. It doesn't align with the ransom
Those
note.
don't have to be the two same parties. This could be a conspiracy of people and the person
It doesn't feel like it aligns.
You're right. It looks haphazard here.
This looks haphazard, and the note is very intentional. Yes.
I agree with you that it's haphazard and they seem unprepared, but they also came with a gun, with gloves, a mask, the backpack filled with whatever. There are elements of this that were very clearly planned out, but you're right. You're right.
Not everything.
This is, they always say that criminals make a mistake, and all they need to do is make one mistake, and that may have been it. That they, for some reason, didn't realize there was going to be a camera right there when they walked up to the door.
Which is just odd.
It's really,
But
really
I just
odd.
want to say one other thing. That, again, by sending these two notes to
the media,
particularly Tucson stations, that I have a feeling they're looking in the Tucson area for somebody who at least was there that meets a description like this, because they seemed, at least if the ransom note is tied to the kidnapper that we're looking at right there, then it seems like it would be in the Tucson television market.
I'm Emily from Cleveland, Ohio, And I honestly think this whole situation has been confusing, especially the more time that goes on. I feel like part of it feels like they knew what they were doing, and part of it feels like they came in totally just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like you thought it out, but you didn't think it out at the same time.
Yeah, you said
Right,
it perfectly.
right,
I mean,
exactly.
you said it perfectly. That I'm so puzzled by what you just said. You're right that it's so well planned and so not well planned. And how do you reconcile
How do you
that?
reconcile those things? By the way, just stay tuned. I have a feeling there are going to be more images
Yes.
coming out today, that the FBI is continuing to pull more data out of cameras and whatever else was at Nancy's home, and you're going to get more information as this, hour by hour today.
Well, and one of the things you want to know is, what was this person driving?
Right.
And are they tracking that, which I'm sure they are, that if they've got this video, is there any video showing any vehicle around that area?
Around this time. Now they know what time this person walked up to the door. So there's going to be a lot more coming out.